Welcome. You with the nasty past, and I'm back with another chapter. Read from the fall of America. Very, very wonderful book. The Minister Elijah Muhammad penned, and we are tapping into. We just finished up a good chapter read. You know what I mean? And we're getting into chapter 25. And the title of chapter 25 is America's Loss of Friendship. You know, how many of y'all out there really, lost, friendship, not due to an illness, not due to death, but you lost your friendship because of y'all don't connect anymore. You feel what I'm saying? And it's the same as politics, you know what I mean? You get these different leaders in office, they don't connect with some of these countries we're allies with. You feel what I'm saying? They see it a different way. And then some of these pieces, some of these allies, where their country at on the board don't become valuable anymore, for real, because things shift, things change, you know what I mean? These countries, especially their military, position themselves every year in different spots, you know what I mean? Because things get compromised. So let's dive in. It's a good title, you know what I mean? America Lost of Friendship is a very good title, So let's dive in this. Let's get some nourishment out of it. Bible or bad 15, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. America has done the worst work of deceiving other peoples and making false friendships with them. Now her turn has come. No one wants to trust her for friendship, for she has deceived many nations. Revelation chapter 12. Prophecies of America under the worst names that could be given to a human being: serpent, snake, Satan, devil, and the deceiver of the people of the earth. Therefore the black man is warned in Revelation 18:4, come out of her, my people. The scripture warns the black man to give up Babylon, which is a symbolic name meaning America. America has tormented the black man. Now a tormentor is after her. The divine tormentor says that he should not be partakers of the divine torment coming against America from Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever. Now let's say this, you know what I mean? That was a Babylon before Christ. They destroyed Babylon, because Babylon was a city of fornication. It was a city of party. So if that's how America is depicted in the now, you know, it tells me Babylon back then before Christ, you know what I mean, it was about free will. They could do as they please. You feel what I'm saying? They could make their own decisions, you know what I mean? And when you look at the structure and the makeup of America, and if you know the history of America, there was Europeans, you know what I mean, that escaped from, England, you know what I mean, into this country. They said George Washington, if I'm correct in what I read in the first president book I've ever read back in 1997, no, 1998, well, 97. And, George Washington was born right here. You get what I'm saying? Right here in Virginia. But I read somewhere Washington come from cross seas. He was on the run for, he had warrants for his arrest, so he fled to America. You got what I'm saying? So history, is very scattered, very tricky, and you have to, really, really connect your dots to get some facts in when you're dealing with history. So I just say this to you again: when you look up the makeup, the structure of America, if this is really Babylon, you got what I'm saying, then the prophecies are alive and living, you know what I mean? Are alive and living. And I can't say that we're not living in those times of revelations. I can't say we're not. It looked like it. Does it feel like it? I can't say that. You know what I mean? I feel good. I feel alive, you know what I mean? But once again, you know what I mean? Let's dive back into this reading and get some nourishment out of it. This means separations. We must separate ourselves from America so that we will be saved from the stroke of the master, who is God himself. Allah, God, is whipping America with all kinds of calamities. I have been writing for many years that America must be punished for the evil done to her black-born slaves, who are so-called free slaves now, and who continue to suffer the same or worse punishment under the children of the white slave master than their white fathers impose upon our black fathers under servitude slavery. America has not only lost and is still losing friendship all over Asia and Africa, but she is now losing friendship right here with her next door neighbors, Central and South America. The manner, the ill treatment and dislike with which they received the president's fact-finding committee made it seem as though they should have been on the other side of the earth. Steps had to be taken to protect their physical self in a country which is right next door to America. However, the scripture must be fulfilled: they shall eat America's bread and burn her body with fire. Now let's pause, let's pause this chapter reading right there, and I just want to say, I kind of disagree with it. There are Mexicans, there are Central Americans that don't see things as America see things, but that's all over the world. That's right here, even in America. If you're an African American, you're a white American, you're an Asian American, that's right here in America. You got what I'm saying? That some of them don't see it the same way, and then there are some that do see it the same way. And life ain't gonna ever be what you want it to be. Too many people in the world for life just to be the way you want it to be. So it's a give and take country. You got what I'm saying? But one thing I must say, the economic structure need to be better. That should be better. We do need to stop, coming to the aid of every other country and keep depleting our resources. You got what I'm saying? We need to stop depending on their resources, their imports, and we need to buy strictly and straight out of America. Build this country up, not just to get us out a deficit, a debt. You get what I'm saying? Don't just build it for that. Continue to build it. Continue to build whether we're in the positive. We've been in the negative as far as the economic part of this of this economic system. For decades. We've been in we've been in the negative. It should feel good to be in the positive, where you have resources to do other things. Yes, we build technology every day. We come up with new ideas every day, but is the resources really there to fund it? Why do we have to wait a year or 2 years when the funding should be there? Or why should we take funding from somewhere else to make that happen? So let's build America, you know what I mean? Let's really, get this going, keep it going, and stop thinking on an individual level, because your life is a little bit a harder struggle than most. Let the next man make some money. Let the next man get on his feet. That next person on their feet can reach back and pull someone up in your family. You get what I'm saying? Can pull your son up, can pull your daughter up, can offer them a job that pay good money. You get what I'm saying? So let's back people, you know what I mean? Let's stand up for people. Let's help people get ahead. Look, this been another read. I am Nasty Pastor. Keep reading, keep forging your life. And remember, I love you, and I'm out.